What's up team, welcome back to another video, and today we are back working on the OG of the channel, the E36 competition car. Man, I freaking love this thing. But it's been sitting aside and a little bit neglected whilst we've been working on the 280ZX and of course the rotary E36 as well. But now it's going to get the attention that it deserves. And today we are experimenting a little bit. So we are going to be installing eBay axles today. But quickly first, before we get into that, let's give the car a quick clean because this thing is absolutely filthy from the last track day that we took it out on, and I haven't had a chance to clean it yet. So it's a beautiful day outside. I'll whip it out quickly, chuck some suds on it, and then we'll bring it back in because I don't know about you guys, but I cannot deal with having such a dirty car, even though it does look so damn cool, just so dirty. All right, let's get it done. Holy, that definitely makes me feel much better in my tingly places. Damn, that looks good. Really do love this thing. Definitely cannot wait to drive it again. I really want to test it out in competition, but it's going to be a while yet. Anyway, we'll get her inside on the hoist and let's get to work. Awesome, so we have the car in the air, but before we get into the job, let's have a bit more of a chat about these eBay axles and what prompted me to buy them instead of buying more second-hand axles. So obviously, as you guys know, I have had a problem with breaking axles ever since we've put more power into the car. We did remedy the situation by adding these 6 Shop UK axle spacers that we have here. So it's the silver thing that you see right there. Very cool product, and what that does is, because I'm running the car lower, the angle of the axle, it kind of pulls it out of the CV. So it kind of pulls this out of the joint as the car squats under power, and that creates a weak point between the shaft and the joint, and that's where they pretty much break. And what this spacer does is push the shaft into the CV joint more so that it's stronger pretty much, and it's worked really well. But as you guys saw on the last test day that we did, we broke an axle, which is this one here. Now, we were running semi-slicks when we broke that axle, and also it has to be said that these are second-hand axles. That means we don't know how many Ks are on these axles. I've got a second-hand one here. This is a spare axle that I have that I take to the track with me for when I break an axle. And as you can see, you know, they're dirty, they're used, they're old. We don't know how many Ks they got on them, and they're obviously not as strong as they would be brand new. There are a couple of options that you have, I guess, when you've got more power and you're wanting to fix this issue. You can switch to a bigger rear end, like the 330 Ci. I think rear ends have bigger diff and axles, but you have to swap out the whole rear end, and I do believe there's some fab work involved in that. Don't quote me on that one though. You can buy custom axles from a drive shaft store. A couple of places do them around the world, but they're about $1,000 a pop. I am still considering doing that because that would pretty much eliminate the problem altogether. But if you think about it, you always want to take spares to the track. So that's $1,000 per axle, and then another $1,000 at least for a spare axle, because you never know, you might break an axle even if it is rated to high power. So I was browsing on eBay a couple of weeks back and I came across these axles. So these axles were $130 each on eBay. Let's open them up. So we can compare the two just by looking. They look almost identical, other than of course this one looks nice and new. Obviously we can't talk to the strength of these axles because we've never used them, but the shafts are the same thickness, which is nice. Build quality seems to be, you know, fairly good. Obviously because they're brand new, all the boots are nice and new, which is good because a lot of the second-hand ones I get The boots are split. So when I came across these, I saw that they're 130 bucks. Now I pay between 100 and 150 dollars per axle for these second-hand ones, which potentially have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Ks on them, right? Because we all know E36s are a much older car now. They have higher Ks on them. So, you know, you've got to imagine that they're all at least above 200,000 Ks, these axles, unless you get lucky, right? So for $130 a pop, for a brand new axle, I couldn't really go past it. For all you guys out there wondering if they're any good, I am gonna be your test subject for that. So, we've got 2 brand new axles, and we're gonna put these into the car today. We've got a drift event coming up, hopefully, in a couple of weeks with Keep It Reap, as long as we get some easing of restrictions here in Victoria. So, we're gonna chuck these in, we're gonna test them on that day, and hopefully they do everything that we want them to do. Look at that. Like I said before, they come with split boots. This one's got a split boot. It's also, you can feel, you know, this one's quite tight on this end's super wobbly, so God knows how long that axle would last. This is super tight. Feels good. So we're gonna chuck that in. We'll leave these Six Shop UK spaces in there as well, so that we can give these axles as much of a chance of living as possible. 130 bucks, man, you can't go wrong. $260 for 2 brand new axles. Why not give it a go? So let's chuck them in. So axle removal is fairly simple. You undo this bolt here in the middle, which I believe is like a 32mm size, but we'll confirm that when we undo it in a second. Then we undo this arm here, this arm up top, these bolts all around the axle. Then I've got a tool that you hit the axle out with. Some of them can be really stubborn, some of them come out pretty easily, and you pull it all out. So let's time lapse that. I've had a lot of people ask, by the way, about my true coilover setup. These are Honda Civic front coilovers, I don't know what year, TN coilovers, that I converted to run in the rear. Just had to chop a little bit off the mount down the bottom, and I fit the Max Feeding Rods top hat that I had from my Max Feeding Rods coilover shock and bolted it all up. This has been an amazing mod that I've done to my car, increased the rear grip massively. I did reinforce the top of the strut towers just so that for the extra pressure for the true coilover. But really, the amount of grip that I've gained from these has been absolutely phenomenal. Alrighty, so we have our old axle removed. This is the one that didn't break, but as you can see, ooh, it still wasn't in the best condition, and that's what you get when you've with the second-hand axles. You kind of, it's a bit hit and miss. And this one actually is super manky, kind of loose as hell. I'm sure it wouldn't have been too much longer before this one went as well. And again, a new axle, all nice and super tight, so that's nice. Although we really don't know how strong they are until we put them to the test. And these are the Six Shop UK axle spacers that I was talking about that really have extended the life of my axles that I've been using ridiculously. So I used to break axles pretty much every event, and then I think it was about 4 or 5 events before I broke an axle this time, so much better. They fit really nicely onto your axle. They come with these awesome bolts. They also have the grip washers as well, because these bolts are notorious for coming loose. So we're going to go ahead and chuck this new axle in and see how it all fits up. Fingers crossed it all fits nicely. The link for these will be in the description below. The packaging that they come in, super nice. Just a really good quality product. Shout out to Six Shop UK. These guys, freaking awesome. Alright, let's chuck this axle in. Alrighty, so we have an axle fitted. Look at that. Nice, pretty, brand new axle. Absolutely love that. Stoked. So, for anyone wondering, by the way, about my arm setup for my adjustable arms, because obviously now that I have true coilover, I don't need the spring perch up here anymore, so I cut that little knobbly thing off up here so it's nice and flat so nothing can hit it, and I'm running one of these camber arms up top as well as down below, so it gives us more adjustability, more clearance for everything, because that spring perch that's usually there is freaking huge. and looks prettier as well. Mad, but works really well. So adjustable arm, same arm down the bottom as up top, and that way you can adjust your camber. Helps a bit with toe and stuff as well, and yeah, mad. So here's obviously the side with the broken axle. As you can see, we were shredding tires at the time and it's cooked. So I'm gonna go ahead and chuck the axle on the other side. I won't film it because you guys don't need to see me doing it twice. Once it's all together, we'll chuck it on the ground, take the car for a quick drive, and hopefully the axles don't explode under the first kind of pull with boost, but that'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'll get this axle in, we'll go for a drive. And through the magic of cinematography, it's all done. Look at that. It's so pretty, all fresh. New axles are in, but will they survive? That's the question. Quickly, we'll just take it for a drive and make sure it's all good. But obviously the real test is going to be taking them out and smashing them, or hopefully not smashing them, giving them a run on the track. But let's get it down, put the wheels on it, and take you guys for a drive. Yeet. Alright, my dude Dan has shown up just in time to take this thing for a quick test drive, so he's gonna hold the camera for me. Let's do this. Street drive, it is so fun.
Smoke at all.
Well, those axles definitely work.
That's how you test your axles?
Yeah. It's fast, eh?
It's good.
Jesus. That's 14 pound about. Man, this thing is fun. Oh my god. Me. Jesus.
There's so many looks.
Oh, that is awesome fun, eh? Jesus.
Thank you for not hitting my car.
And then we put it inside.
And lock the
Shut
doors.
the doors quickly before the cops get fucking. Well, there you have it. The axles at least hold boost, so that's a good start. I had to test them out straight away. Just a little scared. Man, this thing is freaking fun. I turned the boost up because I forgot that I turned it down at the last track day, so I turned it back up. It's only running 14 pound, but that results in about, yeah, a bit over 300 kilowatt, I think. We will put it back on the dyno at some point and wind the boost up. Although I feel like I shouldn't, because this engine has been awesome. It just keeps going, so maybe I should just leave it as is, because it's definitely got enough power for a good time. Thanks to Dan for holding the camera. Thanks to you guys for watching. The link for the axles and the axle spacers are in the description below. I hope this video helps you guys out. We'll test them out soon and see if they can actually hold drift. That's the most important thing. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. Make sure you hit that like button, helps push out the videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram at @itsmikeLake and at Daniel1 or Daniel Leone. I can't really figure it out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers guys. Peace. Just say bye.
See ya.